Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is April 25th, and today I'm back with my video. Today I'm going to be talking about our next severe weather event. Looks like our next severe weather event will start on Tuesday, April 27th, and yeah, so we do have a slight risk out for Tuesday already from the SPC, and we're going to be pretty much just looking at models for severe weather this week, and I'm going to be talking about what happened, or previous severe weather outbreak that happened Friday and Saturday. So let's get started with the video so we can see. For day one and day two, today and tomorrow, we don't have much severe weather in the forecast, just general thunderstorm risks at this point. But then on day three, which is Tuesday, we do have a slight risk. And we're going to look at that in just a second. First of all, let's talk about uh, what we saw yesterday for reports. So this is April 24th. We can see we ended up having 108 wind reports, 88 hail reports, and 5 tornado reports, with the majority of those being by Dothan, Alabama, and some by Tifton, Georgia, or one, I think. Actually, no, two. But overall, it was a pretty active day. We had a lot of storms fire up in Alabama and Georgia. The main threat with those was hail, but then we had a little line segment move east through northern and central Georgia and through eastern Alabama. Once it actually moved towards, I think that high wind report by Peachtree City. Let me scroll down and find that. I think that was by Peachtree City. Here we go. Yeah, so it was in Clayton County. It was an ASOS weather station, I guess, which pretty much, it's a high wind report because that weather station measured I guess wind speeds of greater than 65 knots. So that was some pretty significant wind. And yeah, and then the day before Saturday, which was Friday, we had 6 tornado reports. Those were very photogenic tornadoes by Vernon, Texas. And we had a lot of large hail in that area. So pretty active couple of days. Now today is going to be much more calm. But we need to talk about Tuesday now. So let's go to the convective outlook for Tuesday. Tuesday's a day I've been watching for a long time. This is for April 27th. We can see we have a slight risk going from Wichita, Kansas down to southern Texas there. Pretty large site. Cities in it is Oklahoma City, Wichita, Lubbock, Abilene, and Norman. And we do have a marginal risk that goes up to Kansas City almost and extends east to Dallas Fort Worth. So that is our outlook for Tuesday, and it doesn't look like Wednesday we could also see some severe weather, maybe even Thursday. So let's start looking at this. So Tuesday at 18Z, you can see NAM doesn't indicate a whole lot going on. You can see we do have a warm sector and the very moist dews in the warm sector. We could take a sounding in southern Kansas. This is kind of terrible. We have no ML cape. We have 2,000 surface cape. It's this cap also. And it is quite elevated. So overall, that's not a great sounding. Actually, let me zoom in on the south central U.S. here. And yeah, so we're going to go to composite reflectivity. And NAM indicates a lot of showers down across Texas and Oklahoma. Go to 21Z. You can see not a whole lot going on. Take a sounding right here. That seems to be in the that wasn't in the warm sector. I was too far west. At 00Z, NAM indicates maybe some storms trying to go off kind of right along the dry line. That's going to be a potential problem. Let's take a sounding right here. You're not going to have much of a tornado threat with those. Likely just large hail and some damaging winds. Doesn't look like a great tornado threat though. Let's go to 03Z now. This is around 10 p.m. We can see NAM doesn't indicate a whole lot of action. Let's take a sounding right here. That's contaminated. Let me get a new one. But the NAM has been really certain with there being a lot of capping So we're gonna have to see how that works because if the whole area, if the whole warm sector is capped on Tuesday, we're likely not gonna see a lot of action. This sounding right here, that's terrible. Once again, take a sounding right here. That is also the shear profiles are garbage. I mean, Tuesday, if the NAM happens, Tuesday's not gonna do much, but I'll have a much better idea, or I'll have a much better idea once the HRRR comes out, because the HRRR, sometimes the NAM 3, let's just say the NAM. Sometimes the NAM is better than the HRRR, but a lot of times the HRRR is better. Or, no, I wouldn't say it's a better model, just it does better with forecastings, like reflectivity and stuff like that. But actually, yesterday, the HRRR didn't really do a completely good job. It was yesterday's event was kind of a mixture of the HRRR and the NAM. But as we got into, like yesterday afternoon, the HRRR runs from yesterday afternoon pretty much got the evening completely right. But I'm talking about like one day out and stuff, like back on Friday. For yesterday, the HRRR didn't really do a good job of that. It was mainly the NAM. So yeah, now the NAM is really certain with there being a lot of capping. We do have some breaks in the cap, though. Let's try and take some soundings where we don't have capping. This is better. Shear profiles aren't really supportive of tornadoes, but definitely large hail and some damaging winds. Take one up in Oklahoma. Yeah, no. That's terrible. Let's skip ahead to 09Z. I think that is a... Wait, let's see. Let's get a reflectivity. Again. Okay, so... In a way, according to... If the NAM happens, Tuesday's not going to do too much. If the NAM happens, Tuesday's not going to do too much at all. But the chances... The SBC has a slight risk out, which means that they are expecting some severe weather to happen. And, I mean, really the only problems with this event is the shear profiles aren't good and everything is really capped. That's kind of the main problem, is shear and capping. Now, like I said before, once the HRRR comes out, it'll be comparable. If it's, I can't talk, but if it's kind of comparable to the NAM, if the HRRR thinks there's going to be a lot of capping over the warm sector and doesn't have good shear profiles, then most likely this event may not do too much. Now, if the HRRR disagrees with the NAM, then that'll be a sign that maybe we could see more severe weather than the NAM is actually forecasting. Because the NAM doesn't have much of anything good. I mean, these shear profiles are trash, and it kind of worries me. I don't think if the NAM happens, this event's not going to do too much. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about in today's video, there's not a whole lot to talk about right now. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is Wednesday and Thursday, severe weather after Tuesday, the same system. So we go to Wednesday at 18Z. This is Wednesday afternoon. We can see the GFS indicates a low kind of in the Great Lakes region, let's just say that, with a cold front stretching down across the south and across the Midwest and the South, with a lot of thunderstorm activity in Arkansas, Oklahoma, maybe even southern Illinois and Texas. Now let's take some soundings with this. Not going to take too much. This would likely support... The shear profiles are even better on Wednesday. That's something I've noticed, is that we might have better shear on Wednesday. Problem is that Tuesday we might have... Wednesday could be a bigger day than Tuesday if the NAM is actually right about Tuesday. These shear profiles are good, but keep in mind the GFS doesn't it's not. It's a mid range model. It's not gonna really nail this event too well, probably most likely. You can see that with this sounding, you have a lot of instability. 2000 surface cape. Shear profiles are not messy. They're okay. I mean, the Hoda looks not great. I'm not thinking you're gonna get much of a tornado threat with this sounding. Most likely just hail and some damaging winds. But the sounding does look better than some of the ones I took for Tuesday on the NAM. So this sounding right here, that's kind of bad. But I do think Wednesday we're going to see a severe weather event kind of across this area. Maybe let's take a look at the Euro, see what the Euro has. So with the Euro we have, the Euro is actually much different than the GFS. The GFS had severe weather in this area at 18Z. Or not, I'm not going to say it's severe weather. It's severe weather potentially, or I guess the potential for severe weather in that area. The Euro though has a lot further to the west, maybe down in Oklahoma, Texas, with the low all the way in the northeast, and maybe a new low also. So the Euro is much different than the GFS. Let's see what the Canadian has. Canadian is more similar to the GFS than it is to the Euro. Kind of has a line of storms, or not. I'm not gonna say it's a line of storms. Just a maybe some thunderstorms in this area, stretching from around St. Louis down to Fort Worth. So let's take a sounding in southeastern Missouri. And yeah, so what this is out the Canadian. Shear profiles are not good. You're not gonna have much of a tornado threat with this, but you will have hail and some damaging winds or gusty winds. I'm not gonna really say damaging. Let's take one further to the south in Texas. Shear profiles are a little better. You might have a little bit of a tornado threat, not significant though. Probably you have around 1,000 cape. That's manageable. Lapse rates are better, likely more of a large hail threat, and also gusty winds would be a problem. But I guess to sum this up, I think we're going to see severe weather in mainly this region on Wednesday. I know it's kind of a large area, but the models disagree a lot on this. Maybe kind of like this. It's kind of uncertain. I don't think we're going to see severe weather all the way up to St. Louis. It's possible we see a gusty wind, risking some small hail up there. But I don't think we're going to see much of a tornado risk. But Wednesday, if the NAM happens, if the NAM is right about Tuesday, then Wednesday could be a bigger day. If the GFS is right. Now, once the NAM goes out to Wednesday, which will happen later today or tomorrow morning, once the NAM goes out to Wednesday, then we'll get a better idea on what Wednesday could be. Now, hopefully the NAM doesn't have a lot of capping on Wednesday. That's a big problem Tuesday, is all the capping. Capping and the shear profiles, both of those things could potentially limit severe, or the probability of getting severe weather in that slight risk. So we're going to have to see what the SPC does. The SPC does think there's going to be severe weather, though. So we will have to see. But overall, Tuesday looks interesting, but Wednesday also looks maybe even more interesting. So, yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow, but yes, goodbye.